crazy stuff. I don't even know where to start, man. Especially on Christmas Island, seeing people for the first time that would dig their own grave right in front of you, or they wrap a toilet paper around themselves and set themselves with paper, or take a razor blade and cut things that gave me nightmares, man.
All that talk to my gang pull up when we pull up and they all dip.
Yo, it's your boy King Dave here, and this is the Fallon Show. Hope all is going well. How about you introduce yourself, brother, and where you're from?
My name is Juma Chol, and I'm from South Sudan. I was born in Sudan, Khartoum, when Sudan was still one country. Now it's two different countries. So Juma Chol, I'm Sudanese.
So where are you at currently, brother?
Right now I'm in detention center in Melbourne. It's called MITA, in Broadmeadows.
Well, how long you been in Australia for?
We came to Australia in 2003, I believe.
Well, I mean, to start us off, brother, I guess. So how was it back in Sudan, man? What was it like growing up back there, man?
Honestly, it was pretty normal because we lived in a poor neighborhood. I was born and raised in a poor neighborhood. My parents struggled a lot to put me through school, so it was tough, to be honest. From my point of view, it was tough. So during the Civil War in the 80s, my parents moved to North Sudan, and that's where I was born in 86.
In 86. Wow. So, I mean, look, realistically, I mean, Sudan, well, I've never been there, but, living in Melbourne, I had a lot of Sudanese friends. And, it is like
Tough place.
it's a tough place. It's a war-torn country, I hear, especially South Sudan. I hear there's a lot of tribal fighting and there's a bit of prosecution, and from North Sudan as well, is it? There's a bit of a divide there.
That is true. That's why there's so many South Sudanese and some of the North Sudanese had to flee the countries, including myself, and become refugees.
What
And
was
that's
that
the
like,
reason.
man? What was sort of the process of coming to Australia? Was it like, did you have to escape and things like that from where you were living, or?
Yeah, pretty much. It was my mother, because I was a teenager when we left Sudan. I probably would have been about 12 or 13. So it was my mother that escaped with us, with my other two brothers and sisters, from North Sudan to Egypt. And it was tough on her because she was a single mother, raising 4 boys and 2 girls. Excuse me. And my father had not had been there, so the North Sudanese was pretty much putting my mother's life on risk, that she had no choice but to flee the country. She told us stories that I actually remember. One of the stories that the government, the North Sudanese government, used to come to our house and arrest my mother and take her away. They put a pillowcase on her head so she don't know where she's going, and they'll go and just interrogate her and ask her questions about my father that was in the army, and 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 she'll come back like weeks later, or 2 weeks later, or sometimes even a month, you know. So they will ask her about my father, and she really didn't know where my father was. We didn't know where our father was. We used to ask her. I used to ask my mom. Dad was there since we were like 7, 8 years old, and then from 10, 9, 12, and all mom used to tell us that he went to work and he never came back home.
From there, man. So you've moved from Sudan as a refugee. You've come to Australia, to Adelaide. Well, I mean, for you to be in the detention centre, you know, what happened ended up happening in Adelaide, brother? Did you end up getting into a bit of trouble there, or?
Yes. I end up getting in trouble. It started from high school, you know what I mean? It started from high school when I was about 16, 17. And if you know about Australia, racism, it's not very strange. It's everywhere. And back in the old days in Adelaide, especially in Adelaide, it's a small town. So this is how I got into trouble, by fighting, you know, because of racism, because of the color of my skin, because of who I am. So I was getting in a fight with with the Aussie kids pretty much every day, to the point that my mother got sick coming to school. That's how much I was getting into trouble. Because when we came here, I had a different um, vision of Australia. You know what I mean? We were told a lot of good things about Australia. You know, equality, equal opportunities, fair go. You know what I mean? We didn't know anything about racism. I never knew my skin color, my black skin color was a problem until I went to high schools in Adelaide. So it kind of started from there and it built up. And yeah, I end up leaving the school, man. I couldn't finish year, year two. I dropped out from year 11. You know what I mean? And I went to college and tried to do my thing. So the first time I got arrested was for assault from my high school, which was William Light High School in some place called Marion in Adelaide.
And so when did it sort of escalate, brother? Like, did you end up going to prison in Adelaide, was it, or South Australia, or?
Yeah, but not at that time. Like years later, first time I went to prison, it was about 2007, 2006. You know, by then it was still violence offenses. You know, that's all my charges ever been, violence, because from 2003 living in Adelaide to 2005 and 7, this anger just built up in me, you know. And to be honest, my brother, I wasn't very good at talking to people about my issues. Even my own mother, I used to hide things from her, you know.
Yeah,
And that
brother.
kind of built up. It built up in me. So I turned into, drug and alcohol. You know what I mean? Try to deal with my own things, you know. And it just went on and went on, and I became very angry, you know, because no matter what I did, try, I realized I was trying so hard, trying to fit in. I just wanted to be treated like everybody else. That's all, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
You
No,
know.
I feel you there, brother. I feel you there,
Yeah.
man.
I even
Um,
stopped dating white girls back then because that was a problem. You know what I mean? Going
yeah,
nightclub and trying to, you know what I mean, with white girls. That's a problem. It always ends in violence, and I end up in the handcuffs. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it was tough. It was pretty tough.
How was prison? How was prison in South Australia, man? Going in as as being from Sudan and
The prison, honestly, it was just like any prison, you know. I went in there. Well, first time was for assault, I believe, assault an officer, and but I wasn't sentenced. I was giving, I was reminded. So it's the first jail I went to. It's called Yatla. You know what I mean? It's called Yatla in Adelaide. It's pretty old jail, and there were other Africans in there, but the ones there must have been living in Australia before me. You know, so I just went in there. I was a young man, probably about 19 years old. Done about 4.5 months, and they let me out. You know, so it's gonna sound crazy, brother, but I got along pretty well in jail than outside. You know what I mean? Because I kept to myself. And I noticed something when I'm outside in the streets or standing on the bus stop or train station, especially bus stops, there'll be a car full of, white boys calling me N-word and throwing eggs on me. But in prison, there was none of that. You know what I mean? There
Yeah.
was none of that. And the way I am, I don't go and look for trouble. But if it comes to me, I must defend myself, you know? And it was crazy how jail was completely different from being outside. It's not that I liked it, but it was just disbelief that, wow, first question, how did I end up here? And secondly, why does it feel so, because these are people that I was fighting with back in high school, but now, I'm a brother, you know what I mean? And they're like pretty good boys, and I appreciate that, you know what I mean? They looked after me, like nobody tried to bully me or anything or call me names or anything. And I got out from there, and I thought it was gonna be a one-time thing.
Yeah, we all do, don't
Yeah.
we all think it's going to be a one-time thing, but unfortunately, the system is tough, especially for someone of an ethnic background, for certain, in Australia. So so how long have you been in detention for, brother?
I've been in detention center since 2015, brother. In October 2015 from Adelaide. They drove me all the
Wow.
way from Adelaide to Melbourne. They didn't want to put me on a plane. Apparently, I'm extremely high risk, although I was coming from a medium security. But long story short, was October 2015, and I've been in ever since, man. It's crazy, man.
So
It's
you've been in
crazy.
there 6 years, brother, in detention.
Going to 7 years, man.
Damn, that's a
Yeah.
long time, brother. What's it in Melbourne? Or is it just there in Melbourne, or have you been around? Have you done the rounds across Australia?
Yeah, I've been around. Yeah, the first time was in Melbourne. Apparently they shut it down. It's
Yeah,
called
Maribyrnong.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that I got shipped to Devil Island. That'll be Christmas Island. I call it the Devil Island.
How long were you there, man?
Nearly 3 years, 2 years and 8 months.
Fuck,
And
3 years on Christmas Island, eh?
Yeah, and I've done some time at Young Hill in Perth. Yeah.
Villawood or been out to
Nah,
Villawood?
Young Hill.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I just want to mention one thing. My brother is also detained. My younger brother. His name is Zachariah Chol. Zach.
Zachariah Chol. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're about to see.
Right now he's here with me, but he's in a quarantine. He came in detention center. His story is more crazier than ever. Because he was my co-we. We both went to jail together. He done his time, 18 months. They let him out, automatic parole. He was on the right track, doing the right thing. Got a job, had a house, living with his missus. And out of nowhere, immigration went and picked him up from his work and detained him. I was still in jail at this time. So when I heard that from my sister, I knew I was next. So me and my brother have been stuck here since 2015. No deportation, no visa, no nothing. We tried to, about 3 times. I'm like, yo, I'll take the risk. I'll sign the papers. Since you kept refusing our visa, you know what? I'll sign. I'll go to South Sudan. I have no family there. I only had one family member who was my late brother, rest in peace to him. He passed. So I was ready to take that risk. At least I'll be free, and it's my home. The government turned around and said that they cannot deport me or my brother to South Sudan. So they know we've never been to South Sudan and we have no one there, but yet we've been kept here. All we want is a chance. We just need a chance to get on with our life. everyone here, all these guys here, they haven't been given a chance, to go and do the right thing and do the right thing. They claim we're the danger. How can we be a danger when we've been locked in here for years? We serve our time. Everyone here that's been to jail, that was sentenced to prison, serve their time. They should be home. We all should be home. But we've been kept in here for business. For companies like Circle, racist company like Circle can have a job. It's all about filling up the place for them. Keeping people here for years. Most of us here can't be deported, can't go back. Even if me myself, if I try to sign, they'll tell me that I can't be deported, but they won't let me out. Yes, I grew up, made violence, all stuff. I had my reason. I didn't know how to deal with violence, and I went to prison. When I said my brother was my Koei, it's the last sentence that we went to prison. First time I was sentenced, first time for my brother was sentenced for aggravated assault, intent to cause harm, they call it. So because I had a little bit of a violent history, I was given more time than my younger brother, and I was sweet. Since my plan didn't work out, I wanted to keep my younger brother out, and I wanted to go to jail. I was used to it, brother, to be honest with you. I was used to jail, in and out, in and out. Sometimes it was like an escape place for me.
Yeah.
But the victim, our trial didn't go well. So the victim said both brothers attacked me. When the victim was a guest in my house, and he came and disrespect my brother, and then he had a knuckle dusters after all. My brother walked him out. He dog shot my brother, knocked him out unconscious, and then it went from there. I came running down with a baseball bat. I was upstairs in the balcony. I saw my brother laying on the ground. I didn't know he was dead or alive. So I ran to my room. I had a baseball bat, and I chased. He took off. I went back to see my brother. He was alive. He got up, took the baseball bat off my hand, and then we ran around and blocked him. And my brother hit him in the forehead. Thank God I didn't kill him, but because of what he did. And then he pressed charges. He gave a statement, So that's how we went to jail. We were found guilty. And yeah, man, it was crazy.
Yeah, that's
my
tough,
brother got
brother.
out. He ended up getting out, and
they grabbed him.
they grabbed him. And I came straight here after my sentence. I had to cancel my parole. The parole board of South Australia was ready to let me out on parole. My parole was granted because I turned my life around. I done all the courses. I even quit smoking in jail, and I was ready for a new life. And then out of nowhere, the border force came to jail, and I found out my brother, and I had to withdraw my parole and do 12 months and 3 weeks or something. And that's how I came here in 2015. So my brother was already in Young Hill. They never put us together. They always kept us apart, separated.
But so, in your 7 years that you've been in detention, you would have seen a lot, huh? You would have seen a lot in your time in detention, man.
Yeah, bro, more than a lot. Things that I never thought I would see. Like my journey has been crazy. It's been crazy, man. It's been crazy. Like sometimes it's unreal to believe. When I think back to where I am now, it's unreal, man. It's hard for me to believe this happening in Australia. It's very hard.
Yeah,
Things that
very
never
hard,
happened to me in my country. Ways dangerous.
Yeah.
And
even
like,
not being able to even get deported, not even being able to go back to your own country, not being able to get your visa. I mean, that's a hit. That's
right.
head miles and a half.
Exactly.
What sort of stuff have you seen, man, over the years of being in there?
Wow, brother, crazy stuff. I don't even know where to start, man. Honestly,
riots, like self-harm.
Yeah, self-harm, man. Especially on Christmas Island. That's when I seen people for the first time that would dig their own grave right in front of you, or they wrap a toilet paper around themselves and set themselves on paper, or take a razor blade and cut shit that sorry, excuse my language, things that gave me nightmares, man. You know, until this day, I wake up screaming sometimes, covered in sweat, because of some things that I've seen and the stories that I've heard. Because those people, those asylum seekers, they used to come by
Yeah,
boat. The ones that
yeah,
used to come by boat.
yeah.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah, some of them was those people, and some of the story they were telling me, and I got to know some of them. They're good people. I cannot believe. I don't understand why the government say these people are very bad. They're just people like everybody. They're very nice people. They're just looking for a better life, bro. So I started seeing the way they were treating them, and I'll be like, yo, this guy is digging his own grave like it was a joke. And all the officers just standing there watching, you know what I mean? And then another guy, I remember, you know, wrapped the toilet paper on his body. He already had scars from slashing himself. And then with the cigarette, because they don't have lighter, set himself on fire. Then they come running and put him out. And I'm
Wow.
watching this like live, like as clear as I'm seeing you now, bro.
Oh, that's
Christmas
messed
Island
up,
Detention
man.
Center it's just hell on earth.
It's a
And
hellhole, isn't it? I mean,
yeah,
the thing people don't realize as well, man, is that this is all big dollars. You know, what I mean, this is big dollars for, all the security firms, all of the private companies who own these detention centers. You know, they make money off of all of this, all of the people being held in detention, all of those boatloads of asylum seekers that were coming over from Indonesia and all of that. Once they came here and were put in those detention centers, it's all money. You know what I mean? So
absolutely,
it's
absolutely,
all
bro. You're
big
absolutely
dollars.
right.
You know,
You're absolutely right.
every
Big
person
money.
they hold in detention, they get a couple $100,000 for that.
That's right.
So
That's
you
right.
imagine all those boatloads of people that were coming over from Indonesia and all of those places.
That's right. The boys say it all the time. We're just dollar signs to them. They see us, they see a dollar sign. The
Yeah,
more people here, and thanks for saying that because that's exactly what's this place about. Money.
yep,
When the place is full, when the bunks, if you can see behind me, there's two bunks. It's pretty much jail.
yeah,
They call
yeah,
them room, but it's a cell.
yeah,
I know a cell when I see one.
yeah,
You know what I
brother.
mean?
Yeah,
But so when it's full, the business goes on and they make money. So this is just about money. I think when the boats stop coming, some genius from a Parliament House figure out, okay, let's take these permanent residents and throw them in there because they could not just let the money go. They needed people like myself and everybody here. You know, they didn't care whether how long you've been in Australia or what. If you're not a citizen, that's it. Your visa's in. It's crazy. It's mind blowing. There's people here. A couple of weeks ago, there's an old man there, 81 years old, my brother. 81 years old. He's been in Australia for 62 years and he's been detained. It's like, what the? You know what I mean? So just money, like you said, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So
They don't care about human life. You know, it
no,
means
they don't.
nothing to them. They put money well before that.
That's it. That's it. And then they lie to the public and say these people are criminals and that,
Yeah.
and the public believe whatever they
And
say.
and the and the and the thing is as well, that they're saying that they're getting rid of crime, that they're deporting all of these criminals. The last I've seen, the crime rate's been rising over in Australia. You know what I mean? The crime rate ain't gone down one little bit. You know what I mean? So
That's
you
it.
just
Yep.
deported all of these people, misplaced all these families, and crime rate's
Yeah.
still on the rise. You know what I
That's right.
mean?
That's right. The more crime, it didn't change anything.
Don't change
There's
nothing.
a lot of people being deported. I witnessed a lot of guys left this country.
Oh
You
man,
know,
I got a few boys over in Sudan now, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
it's they don't got no bank accounts over there, you know what I mean? Man, they've got to watch out for, malaria. You know what I mean? One of the boys over there has caught malaria a few times, it's just
And they know
it's
that. They know it's not safe. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And what hurts me the most, brother, I was ready to take that chance. I'd rather get malaria and all that, but at least I'll be free because watching my mother and my younger siblings all these years, man, the pain with my mother is just heartbroken, man.
Yeah.
So when I tell the boys, at least you're lucky you got a chance to sign, brother. Why you look so? You can sign to leave. Me or my brother, we don't even have we're not even allowed to sign to leave. At least you have a choice to leave. We've been told, and they made it clear to me that they we're gonna be kept here indefinite. My brother and I going to be kept here indefinite. The Home Affair, apparently, according to my case officer, saying that Australia owes me protection, but I realized protection is this. This is what they're talking about. They're talking about detention center. I've
Yeah.
been kept here as the money machine, brother. It's sad, my brother. It's heartbroken, but thank God, my mother, she's a very strong woman, and God bless her, man. But something's got to be done. You know,
Yeah.
like
Something's
I'm
got to
not
be
really
done.
proud. I'm not really proud of. You know what I mean? Whatever. I got on the rules here because they would not even give us a court date. And year after year, I see the same cycle repeating itself. What happened 6 years? I seen it happening again. Since till when? We only humans, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
These
that's
people
right.
don't see us as human. They don't respect me as a human. They don't respect any of these guys. We have family who are Australian citizens. They harming my family. This government is tearing my family apart. They torn my family apart.
Definitely praying for you guys, man, from over here. Look, sorry, man, but look, brother, to continue on, my bro. To wrap it up, sort of. But how do you feel, man, about maybe heading back to Sudan, or even if you can at this point? I mean, do you have any closing remarks or anything you'd like to speak on before we wrap it up?
But one thing I'd like to mention, I'd rather be in Sudan than being stuck in here and watch my family suffer. You know what I mean? You know, just a couple of months ago, the ABF trying to offer us uh, options. They're trying to send us to other countries, but not to my own country. You know. So I
Wow.
spoke to my mom, and she said, no. To make the case worse, they want to choose the country, and they won't tell us, and they won't give nothing. Just sign the paper. We'll send you Sweden, whatever, somewhere in Europe. We're like, yo, what do you think because we've been here for so long and they have to make a decision. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I just hope that people change, man. Love will heal everything, and for Australian people to open their eyes and to see who's the real problem here, man. You know, and I just give shout out peace to the world, man. We need peace. We only humans, man. And I appreciate what you're doing, and I'm happy to share my story. You know, just to give a different side of life in detention centers. It's traumatizing, but I have faith. That's all I have. I have faith in God. Bro, I have faith in God, and that's what keeps me going. So that's it, my brother. Thank
Man.
you for your time. I appreciate it.
Man, thank you so much, brother Yuma, for jumping on. And like you said, man, love will heal everything, man. We just got to keep our faith in
Definitely.
God strong, and He'll deliver us, man. We just gotta trust in Him, man. I mean, God's plan's perfect, man. God's
Amen,
plan's
brother.
perfect, brother. And
Amen.
He's got a plan for all of us, man. We just gotta be humble, and just try and fight this fight righteously, isn't it? But look, brother,
Sure.
again, much love and much respect, brother. And thanks for jumping on, my man.
Happy New Year, my brother. All the best to you.
Yeah.
You know,
Happy New
see
Year's
you
to
next
you
time.
too, my brother.
All right, take care.